As the saying goes, what goes round comes round. You had when Senator Cheriot started, he mentioned about you get out of here and there's a Subaru waiting for you, whisking you away to some place. Well, welcome to the world. Many have gone through that, but they have survived to fight another day. Yeah. It's just that the fight against corruption, as it were, can be used as a political tool.
Yes.
And that we've seen it happening in the sense that you find people being charged with things that appear to be neither here nor there. And then a judge came up with a very interesting judgment that once the governor is charged, they stop going to the office, they step aside, which then leaves a very dangerous situation, because then it can easily mean that many governors can be forced to step aside. That's why you find them trying to, in their thinking, they think they are towing the system's line. But I don't think anybody really knows which the system's line is, because after the BBI report, I think everything is so murky. Nobody really knows yet what the direction is. But this situation of Nairobi County, I think Sonko is one smart cookie. He created this scenario. He created this scenario, and the powers that be were actually looking on, seeing Sonko creating this impossible scenario. And I think he did it deliberately to protect himself, because he knew if he creates a scenario where there's no deputy, then they will think twice before they arrest him. And actually, they would have arrested him long ago. But when he threw this scenario, I think there's been a bit of hesitation to arrest him, because then there was nobody to take over. But if you notice that now Elachi is back as the speaker, you can now start reading the whole game plan. So you don't be surprised if Nairobi has to go in for an election. But then, how do you stop Sonko from being governor when he has already been found guilty? He's not yet guilty. He's just been charged in court. So you cannot insist that you have an election. You can't. So, and yet the law says the speaker can only act for 60 days. But in this case, when Sonko is arrested, there is no place for the speaker. It is supposed to be the deputy, but there is no deputy. And that's the situation Sonko had created, which made him live long in that position. And the powers that be had seen all this. And I think I lay this blame on the Senate. Why they didn't move fast and ensure that a deputy governor is in place. Because a law has been passed as to how long it should take before a deputy governor is in place. But Sonko has been allowed to get away with it, not appointing a deputy. So this murky situation, we've actually created it.
It is our own doing.
It's our own doing, and you know, with a country of so much impunity and tribalism and so on, it's a very, very fertile ground, you know, for people to get away with whatever they want. And I think this thing we created so that we have a crisis in Nairobi, then eventually we'll try to purportedly sort it out, but it has to be within the law. They cannot attempt to sort it out outside the law. It has to be within the law.
So the fact that Sonko was not really, you know, appointing or getting a deputy governor, that was so deliberate. He knew what he was doing. It was sort of to really insulate himself,
yes,
to add the longevity of the office. And he knew, maybe, yeah, if I start now pilfering public offers, it will come back to bite me, but at least then there will be sort of a crisis as far as the constitution is concerned.
Yeah, because...
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree?
That is premised on the assumption that in so doing, he was going to bypass or insulate himself against the Constitution. In its current form, the Constitution is sufficiently comprehensive to address the issue. Supposing Sonko was moving in the manner that Dr. Eseli has suggested, Article 192 is still waiting for him, that allows the president to suspend a county government under exceptional circumstances. The circumstances at the county government of Nairobi are indeed exceptional. So the president can today decide to suspend, and he will be perfectly within the confines of the Constitution. Under 192, he would suspend the county government, only that he can only do it for 90 days, and only that he should seek approval from the Senate this he can get. So it is not a question of Sonko beating the constitution, as it were. My bigger contribution this morning is on the behavior of the media. In this matter of Sonko, the media has arrested him, has taken him to court, has charged him, has tried him, has convicted him. It is only waiting to sentence the guy. Look at the headline today in the Standard.
In the Standard?
In the Standard, the headline talks of the end of an era. We know that Sonko won the election in Nairobi fairly and squarely. So it could not have been an era.
No, but you...
If they wanted to speak
just
about
a moment.
the era...
No. I need, but you see, there is a question mark there, right? Please don't try and make Kenyans think otherwise. This is end of an era. It's a probing question that they have asked.
They are assuming that his election was in itself an era. They wanted to write there the end of an era, but they have decided to put era, chicken tongue, so as to give the impression that the election of the governor was itself not right. I don't agree with them. The second one is on the Standard, the cartoon on page 14, where they are now putting Murkomen and Mutula. Is this Cherargei?
That is page 14 of the Standard.
Yes, the cartoon. Is this Cherargei?
Okay, let me just flip over there.
Cherargei. And I think the other person hiding behind there is a member of the National Assembly called Mwanzo, where they are giving the impression that they are representing Sonko is wrong.
I didn't have the cartoon today, so yeah.
I do not want to prejudge it, but we know that there is no case between the Senate in court today and Sonko. Why is the media forgetting that when the Senate had a case between it and the governor of Kakamega in the last parliament,
yes,
James Orengo represented Oparanya, and the media did not find anything wrong with it. But now that it is Sonko, who apparently the media doesn't want, and many other players, they are giving the impression that these senators should not be there. The case in court is between Sonko and the Ethics and the Corruption Commission, in brackets, the state. But the one where Orengo represented the governor was actually between the Senate and the governor. And the media at that time saw nothing wrong with it. I think we should allow Sonko to go the full hog and have his day. He has his full days in court and eventually have access to justice. That is my appeal this morning. And because there are so many people, I want to agree with Aaron, who appear not to like Sonko. Out of the blues, the Council of Governors then abandoned Sonko, something which is unprecedented. When Governor Ojamong was arrested, the Council of Governors stood with him. When Waititu was arrested, the Council of Governors stood with him. But in the case of Sonko, they are attempting to dump him. In fact, they have dumped him, and now they are attempting to do something unconstitutional. Who told governors that they can call for an emergency meeting with the president to discuss Sonko's matter? It is only the Senate and the president who have the prerogative of making steps of arbitration on this matter. But the Council of Governors should retreat back to their county governments and work.
All right, you mentioned